What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Floyd Street's Finest, a Louisville men's basketball podcast, part of the Field of 68 Media Network. I'm Jeff Greer, your host, your friend. Happy to be back with you for another episode. It's summertime, but summer workouts are in full force. And as a result, we're going to keep working on episodes every week as often as possible, I guess I should say. And this week's episode includes Jarrod West, an interview with Jarrod West, the Marshall transfer, graduate transfer guard, who's bringing a veteran presence, a three-point shooting touch, really good in the pick and roll as the ball handler coming off screens and trying to make things happen for his teammates or getting downhill himself. Good defender as well, and a veteran presence as well in the locker room, which is a big plus for Louisville, alongside Noah Locke as an experienced guard coming off of years of games and playing at a high level at Marshall. And Noah Locke, of course, coming over from Florida, hoping to talk with him at some point this summer as well. Before we get to the conversation with Jarrod, of course, I've got to tell you, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Field of 68, constantly putting up videos, things you can watch, get ready for the draft, all sorts of different things. We still have our March Madness series running from March. Where else do you think that would have been running? Great stories there. So it's a really great channel to follow if you're on YouTube and spending time watching videos on YouTube. And of course, make sure you rate and review this podcast. I'm going to assume that the person who gave me the 1 star, the only person who gave me a 1 star, I'll assume that they accidentally tapped the 1 star and not that it's, like my parents or someone who just years and years and years of frustration has finally built into a 1-star review on Apple Podcasts. But seriously, you guys have been great. I really appreciate all the support, and it's so much fun to have a chance to talk about Louisville basketball in an extended format here and interview some of the people in and around the program to get their thoughts on the goings on there. And last week's episode with Chris Mack is still pretty fresh, still interesting. So tune into that one if you haven't already. Without further ado, here is my interview with Jarrod West. All right, we are joined by Jarrod West. Jarrod, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's up, man? I appreciate you having me. I'm excited to be here, man. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm enjoying the summertime. I hope you have not melted yet in the heat since coming here. It's been uncharacteristically super hot the last couple of weeks, so I apologize for that on behalf of the of Mother Nature here in Louisville.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's been nice out, so I can deal with I can deal with the heat.
Okay. Well, let's start there. I mean, you got here a couple of weeks ago now. You've had a chance to kind of start meeting your teammates in person. I'm sure it was weird, the digital side of things, doing everything via phone. But what has this experience been like so far for you since arriving on campus?
It's been really good so far. I'm really glad that I'm here. I'm super excited about meeting all the guys and all the coaches in person, being able to come to the practice facility, work out, and be in the gym with the team and everything like that. It's been really good. They've been very welcoming since I've been here. I've been building relationships over this past couple of weeks already, so I feel like I've grown a lot of relationships and have gotten closer with the coaches and with my teammates and stuff like that. So it's been really good, man. I'm super excited I'm here.
Did you know any of the players either coming in or guys who are already at Louisville before you arrived? Had you known any of them previously?
I knew of L because we played in a lot of the same AU tournaments when we were in high school. So I knew of L, and I knew Noah a little bit just because when I was in Marshall, we played Florida my junior year. So I knew who Noah was. Besides that, I didn't know anyone else on the roster. I knew like who the guys were that were on the team, but I didn't really know them personally.
Okay. Well, I'm always curious for people coming in, whether they're assistants, players, whatever the role is. What's your process for getting to know other people? Like, how do you, because it's not like you're like going out there and you've got to like make some friends. Like, you live with these guys, you play with them every day, you're around them all the time. Like, what's that like for you? How do you handle that part of this whole deal?
It's honestly been really easy, man. I mean, I just try to be myself. And like you said, I'm around them all the time. I'm in the gym with them. I'm at the dorm with them. We go out to eat together. I'm with the coaches at workouts pretty much every day. I get to see the coaches on the court all the time or in the practice facility. So it's really been a smooth process for me as far as meeting everybody and building those relationships because I'm around them all the time. And good thing is we got a lot of great people that I'm affiliated with now. There's a lot of good people. All my teammates are good people. All my coaches are good people. So being around them all the time, consistently talking to them, hanging out with them, being around them, working with them on the court all the time, every day. It's been a very smooth process for me. It's honestly been really easy, honestly.
Well, that's good. There's a lot of curiosity in Louisville, as you have probably learned about. There's a lot of different media outlets that cover you guys. Obviously, a big fan base, an intense fan base, and it is virtually impossible for a coach to hire an assistant who a lot of people don't know who that person is a whole lot. But Chris somehow pulled that off with Ross McMain's. Coming from obviously very different basketball background with the NBA and international game. What's been your impression of Ross so far coming in, and what do you think the other guys think of him too?
Coach Ross has been great. He's been working with all of us, really. I mean, all the guards, wings, bigs. He's probably had at least one workout with everybody since we've been here. But he's very open, honest, and transparent with everything, with his delivery. You can tell he knows what he's talking about. He's got plenty of experience. And he just wants us to get better. He's kind of building relationships too because he hasn't been here that long either. So building that relationship with him this past couple of weeks has been great. He's been working hard, just like all the other coaches and players. So he's been out there with us, working just as hard as we have. Honestly, he's a great guy, great coach with a lot of great experience. He's been successful. With teams, whether it was in the NBA, in the G League, overseas. He's had success, and he's been around a lot of good players. He's helped develop a lot of great players. Mm-hmm. So him being here has been awesome, and I think the guys really like him, and he's been very impactful so far, if you ask me.
What is it? Like I literally was just talking to Chris like 5 minutes ago, and we were talking about implementing some of the stuff that Ross is bringing in, some of his principles and philosophies that can mesh with what you probably talked about in the recruiting process with Chris and Mike Pegues. What has that part been like so far in terms of making sure there's more spacing and not, as Chris was saying, not running to the ball all the time, but trying to space out and keep your spacing? Has that been a challenge? How have you approached learning about that so far?
It's been a little bit of a challenge for everybody, I feel like, but I feel like we've continually got better, and we've been drilling it a lot in our workouts and stuff like that, trying to make sure we know what we're doing and where we're supposed to be, because that's the way we want to play. In the recruiting process, they talked about how they were wanting to change the offense and stuff. And, Coach McMains has a lot of impact in that. He's done a lot as far as spacing, where we need to be, the terminology, everything like that. It's a little bit different. So it's been a learning curve for all of us, but we're all trying to learn on the fly, and we're trying to shorten that learning curve by putting in as much work, watching as much film as possible. The good thing is the coaches are doing a really good job of being detailed. They're doing a really good job of telling us where we need to be and explaining everything pretty thoroughly as far as what we need to do. But they're also giving us a lot of freedom to kind of work through things on our own and manage things by ourselves and try to figure the offense out a little bit. So they're not, pigeonholing us, and they're not micromanaging us right now. They're giving us a lot of freedom to learn and work through things, but they've also done a very good job of putting us in the right positions and kind of giving us a guideline and a style of play that we want to play. So it's been a learning curve for me. It's been a learning curve for a lot of people, but I think we're going to only get better with this time in the summer, just being in the gym every day and working on it consistently.
Something that I've talked about on radio or written about is how important it was, even if you guys are new to the team, to bringing in guys like you and Noah who have played college basketball for a while. You understand how it works, the ebbs and flows of the schedule and all the different things that come with being a high-level Division I athlete. Do you feel like you have been asked to kind of have some of that veteran presence, that veteran role, and help Malik kind of run the team?
For sure. My leadership through my experience in college has definitely it's definitely impactful. It's something that they've asked me to do. It's something that they want me to kind of um, not just for myself, but impact the entire team. You know, if I can help others in any way possible, um, just by being a good leader on and off the floor, directing traffic, being a vocal leader, having a voice in workouts and in practice. That's all something that they've asked me to do. And as a veteran and as somebody who's been in college for now, this is going on my 5th year. That's something that I should be used to by now, and that's something that feel like I'm pretty comfortable with. So I got to just continue to learn and continue to grow and do that at a higher level as well. So um, it's not like they're asking me to do anything that is out of the blue or out of the ordinary or stuff that I haven't done before. So I'm very confident in what I bring to the table, and I feel like they are as well. The coaches are. So, but they are putting some responsibility on me for sure. So I just got to continue to grow and continue to get better.
So in watching Marshall and watching you play for Marshall, it was interesting how as the season progressed and you had a great this past season, you had a great season. I thought it was interesting how they tried sometimes to move you off the ball and have you come off screens and stuff and catch and be in position to attack and also bring the ball up plenty of times as well. How did that go for you? Like, how do you feel like you handled those different situations, and how do you think that might translate to what they're asking you to do here at Louisville?
I thought that was really good at Marshall. Honestly, we had a lot of good guards at the time. Every year, really, we've had multiple ball handlers, multiple guys who can make plays, multiple guys who could shoot. So being able to play on and off the ball was very important in our style and in our system. Being able to shoot and create, whether you have the ball or you don't have the ball, that was very important. And I feel like that is something that will be relatively easy to translate to here because that's kind of it's a similar style in a way, in a sense of what we're trying to do here. But we do want to have multiple ball handlers. We want to have multiple playmakers and people who can create, multiple people who can shoot. So being able to do it on the ball and off the ball, whether it's at Marshall and now here, that's something that should be an easy transformation, I should say, from there to here. So, and I feel like we'll be able to do that. You know, we got a lot of good playmakers. We got a lot of good guys who can shoot and create. So I feel like everybody is doing a really good job so far of kind of trying to figure out what they're doing and figure out where their openings are and where they can create and things like that. So I feel like we're going to just continue to get better. And it's definitely something that, because I've been in that a system in a little fashion, a little bit, that's something that I'm kind of used to. So I'm just going to continue to grow and learn different ways if possible and try to get better at those things as well.
So I'm going to swerve on you here a little bit, and we'll go back into your younger days. I'm always intrigued to find out kind of how things got to be where they are, where you're sitting in this exact seat and preparing for a season at Louisville. One of the things that I noticed from watching clips of you playing was, and Ross McMahon's mentioned this too, is you've got a nice arsenal of ways to deliver passes. You can sling passes cross court. You're a good skip passer. You've got all the little things, the diagonals that you need as a ball handler to be able to deliver those passes, but also really good defender, really intense defender with lots of energy. Where did that come from? Where did those skills come from, and how did you develop them as a kid?
Defense is something that I've always had to bring to the table. From a young age, that's something that I knew that I had to be a good defender to play at the level that I wanted to be at. You know, I've always wanted to be a Division I basketball player, and I knew that if I wanted to play at that level, I had to be a very good defender. You can't be a small guard, undersized guard, and go to Division I level and not be able to guard your possession or make an impact on the defensive ends. That's something that I've always took personal, something that I've always felt like was a challenge for me that I enjoyed. You know, I like to impact the game on both ends of the floor. So that was something that I tried to take very serious and really kind of make my mark on that side of the floor as much as the offensive end. The passing and all that, that is something I feel like I've developed a lot over time. I feel like I've continually got better at passing, whether it's the type of passes, creating angles, hitting people on target and on time, whether it's off the ball screen or just simple making a play. But I feel like that's something I've continued to grow and develop in. You know, it took me playing 4 years at Marshall, in that system with those amount of good players, that helped me out a lot. And I feel like that put me in a really good position to kind of develop and expand my game a lot. And that's where my passing, I feel like, really increased and developed a lot. I feel like, especially this past year, my senior season was my best season as far as passing. And I feel like that was continuous growth over my 4 years at Marshall. So I'm just going to try to build off of what I did this past year and try to transfer it over to this year.
One of my all-time favorite stories, I wrote a profile of John Morant when he was at Murray State, and his dad was like in the kitchen or something, and I can't remember if it was a cousin or one of his brothers or somebody came in and said, "You've got to watch Ja playing 2K because his ability to make these passes in 2K, like to know who was about to be open." He was like 8, and they were like, "This kid already is like has incredible vision at 8 years old." So I'm always intrigued how that develops over time. So I appreciate you sharing that a little bit with us. What was your childhood like? When did you get into basketball? And I guess who were your big influences there as you were growing up?
I feel like I've been around basketball as long as I can remember. Watching my dad, being in the gym with him all the time from a young age. So whether I was in there playing or not, or if I was just in there watching or playing with my toys or something while he was playing, I was always around it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I really started getting into it probably I'd say around 4 or 5-ish, where I kind of started playing. And, I feel like as I got older, I took it more serious and had dreams and had goals and aspirations that I wanted to reach as I got older. So I feel like my work ethic continued to grow and I just continued to get better. And because I really wanted to achieve there's some goals that I had that I wanted to accomplish. So that's something that I've always been around. Basketball is something that's in our family. It's in our family DNA. My brother plays. My mom, she's always around it. She comes to all the games and stuff like that. So it's something that's in our family. So I've always been around it.
I was going to say, was there ever any thought at any point among the West that you might play a different sport? It doesn't sound like it.
I played football up until I stopped playing after my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
I was too scared, man. I liked playing the games, but I didn't like getting hit.
What position did you play?
Wide receiver and cornerback.
Okay. So you're at least a little bit further out from where all the intensity is. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. I stayed as far away from that as possible.
Last couple of things then. One is, who would you describe as the best teacher you have ever had in your life?
I would definitely say my parents for sure. Just the impact that they've had on me. And some ways they're similar, but some ways they do it differently. But I feel like they both just had a crazy impact, whether it was in basketball, school, life. But the way they deliver their messages and the way they taught my brother and I is something that I feel like is definitely, I couldn't have learned from better people, in my opinion.
Okay, that's a good answer. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. That's a good answer. This summer, what are your goals as far as weight and all of that stuff? Do you have I'm sure you have a conditioning plan at this point set up for you, but what are you guys trying to accomplish with you this summer?
Just continue to get stronger in any way as possible, get more athletic and, just kind of put my body in the best position as possible to stay healthy, stay energized, and be as strong and physically prepared for a grinding season as possible. There's no real specific like weight or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm in pretty good shape, so I feel like I can always get better in that regard. But any way that I can continue to get stronger, more athletic, and healthier overall for a full season is the most important thing.
I'll do a couple rapid fire here and then I'll let you go. Okay. Guy who has stuck out to you so far in workouts.
I'll say Sam Williamson.
Okay. Arena you're most looking forward to, road game you're most looking forward to playing this year in the ACC.
Dean Dome.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I'll take that back. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know. Well, I don't want to take it back. That's one of them. Florida State.
Okay.
I don't know what the arena's called, but
Yeah, neither do I. It's a civic center. It's Donald Tucker Civic Center, I think is the
okay.
name of it. It's
Okay.
there's an arena inside of a convention center. And then last but most certainly not least, what has been your best meal that you've had so far since arriving in Louisville?
Best meal. I had some good meals. I don't know. I gotta try more different stuff.
Okay.
You know, I
You've
gotta
only
get
been
them.
there for a few weeks. In fairness, I don't want to
Yeah.
too much.
I did go to Zaxby's this past weekend. That was really good. And
Okay.
I've had Zaxby's before, but there's no Zaxby's up north.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm not used to
that's
having
true.
access to a Zaxby's or like a Popeyes or a Cane's or anything like that. So that's not where I'm from. But so Zaxby's, I'd say it's pretty
Okay. All right. Well, the chicken fans will be happy with that answer.
good.
Jarrod, you're off the hot seat. I appreciate a couple minutes of your time, and I'm sure we will catch up down the line as things progress. But best of luck the rest of the summer.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me.